When watching the news, it's easy to get overwhelmed, to become stressful, to become fearful, and to worry about things that are going on all around us. Today, even though we're a knife and EDC channel, we're going to do something that's actually been requested on the channel many times before. And we're actually going to talk bug out bags. Now, don't worry, you might see a knife or something to do with EDC in this video, but we're going to talk bug out bags. And I'm not going to be doing that by myself. I'm actually going to have a guest with me today. Jake, many of you guys know him. You've seen him in the chat before. He's got his own channel here on YouTube. I'll link all that down below. And Jake, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you joining me on this. We've talked about doing this and putting it together for a little bit, and we're finally making it happen.
Yes, it took a while, but we're here.
We are here. So really quick, before we get started talking about bug out bags, let's go ahead and just break down and kind of give a background on our history with bug out bags or prepping or however you want to call it, so that people will kind of know who we are and our basically our credentials, so to speak, and give us some legitimacy. Go for it. Tell us about it.
My foray into the bug out bag arena started with just being just a general prepper. I woke up one day and felt that I needed to be prepared for things that are out of my control, that I can control, and that I can kind of steer the direction that I'm going to react on things that I can't control and how they play out. So I went down the prepping hole and I did a lot of research. I've read probably most of the prepping books, like the SOS Survival Handbook, the prepping handbook, backcountry first aid, stuff like that. And that also led me to go into, some bushcrafting. I'm really big into hiking and doing the outdoor scene. I love getting out, spending nights on by myself out in the woods, just kind of testing myself, seeing what gear works, seeing what doesn't. I'm constantly trying new gear, seeing, like if this will work with what my style is, how I do things. And so, I don't have any credentials per se, but I do like to think that I got some good opinions. How's that?
Oh, that's great. Well, most preppers are like that. There's not a school that you can go to become a prepper. It's something that you just you feel strongly about, and then you just get into it and you just start doing it. I don't think any prepper really has credentials, but more trial by error. Kind of same thing for me. I've been a prepper for about 30 years is no exaggeration, probably a little bit longer than that. I have been a very extreme hardcore prepper most of my life, stockpiling large amounts of food, medical supplies, batteries, ammo, pretty much anything and everything that you can think of. It's been a journey for me. Different shows like Doomsday Preppers and stuff. We was in contact with them. I've got a circle of people who also are preppers who take it well, I don't take it as serious anymore, but who took it as every bit as serious as I did. A lot of money and a lot of time put into it. And then of course also I was an avid outdoorsman, camping, survival type situations, not like glamping and stuff where I would go taking TVs and couches that inflate and air conditioned tents or RVs. I mean, I'm literally talking about just taking a backpack or a small bag with some plastic and some rope and going out and spending weeks at a time in the woods, just surviving, learning how to hone skills and stuff like that. And prepping has just been a huge part of my life. And I did get away from that for a while. I still prep, but it's nowhere near as important to me as it once was. It's still important, but now I have a different take on it and a different philosophy, and we're going to get into that in this video. My prepping is still important, but I just do it a completely different way than I used to. So It sounds like both of us have some skills and have spent some time in this arena. So we have a little bit of, I won't say expertise, but we have a little bit of knowledge we can bring to bear on this subject. Um, so bug out bags are what we're going to be talking about today in this video, and we can do other videos in the future. I know that when I was talking to you and we was putting this video together, I asked you to think of one thing that you would think was like the most important. If you was just going to talk to somebody about bug out bags in a really quick, brief conversation, and there was one point that you could get across to them, what would it be? And before we get into what's in our bags, what would that be? What would that one thing that you want to get across be?
So the number one thing that I would want people to know is you don't have to go 0 to 60 and get the most expensive stuff, the most best, you can spend a lot of money on bug out bags and bug out gear. But a lot of times you don't have to break the bank just to get something that's going to work. If you're building a bag, look at the long view, look at the road ahead and plan accordingly, meaning that you don't have to go buy a Ferrari if you're just going to get in a car and travel to, point A to point B. A regular car will get you there. Yeah, it might be funner in a Ferrari and it might be better, more luxurious, you might be more comfortable, but the regular car like a Toyota Corolla will still get you there. And so that's the same for gear. You don't have to buy the best of everything and put it in your bag. You can get by with a lot of great stuff and you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. So that's my one takeaway that I want to push towards everybody. You don't have to get crazy, especially right off the bat.
That's a great point. I've had some friends along the way who have seen what I do. They've come into my homes before and they've seen all the food, and that leads to conversations and stuff. And then they see things on the news and they immediately want to jump into prepping, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm all of a sudden a prepper," and they go out the next day and they think that they can just you know just go hog wild with it and go full force, right? With that. So I completely get what you're saying. You don't have to spend a ton of money. Yeah, that's a really good point. And again, that's definitely going to come into play with what we're talking about with the gear here in a second that we're going to show. My thing would be, if I was going to talk to somebody and advise them about prepping, or not about prepping, but about bug out bags. I'm sorry. I would say it's kind of like a twofold thing. Number one, right off the bat, if you're going to get a bug out bag, you have to get a bag. You have to get a backpack. You have to get something comfortable, something that you can carry. You have to get something that is you can carry for long term. We're going to get into all the stuff that's in it and everything. But I see all these people getting bug out bags, and they'll pull out an old duffel bag or a cheap backpack or something like that with thin straps, and it can't hold much weight. If bug out bags are ever truly needed, you're going to need something that you can carry for a long period of time that can hold a lot of weight, and you definitely want to go into it with a something that is going to hold up to a lot of abuse and age, because you might be in a situation for a long period of time. But also for yourself, you need something that's going to be comfortable, that's going to have support, lumbar support, and stuff like that. Again, that'll come into play when we talk about all the things that are in the bags. But even more than that, I would just say this. I would tell everybody, you cannot bug out bag your way out of a situation or scenario. No matter how prepared your bug out bag is, no matter how much stuff you stockpile, no matter how much stuff you carry on you, you cannot stockpile, store, or carry your way through a scenario or situation if you aren't going to spend the time learning skills that you're going to need in those situations. Then all of the gear in the world is going to be pointless. It's useless. It's far more important to have skills than it is stuff. And that is the most important thing that I would tell somebody. Skills, not stuff. And again, all that'll come into play. So leading into that, let's start talking about stuff that's in our bags. Let's start off with like nutrition, food and water, because anytime a bug out bag situation is necessary, you're going to need food and water. And I've seen people that go everywhere from they'll have a 7-day, supply in a 5-gallon bucket that they're planning or expecting or thinking they're going to carry around with them, all the way to people that carry just beef jerky or dehydrated bags of stuff. What do you have in your bug out bag for nutrition going into this?
I travel pretty light on food. As far as food in there, I have because I'm assuming if I'm bugging out or having to roll quickly, I can grab this bag and I can just roll out with my wife, and so it'll be us two. And so I got for a couple of days, I've got some lifeboat rations, and then I don't keep my water full, but I keep it ready. So all I have to do is I've got some water bottles kind of positioned around the house, so I can fill my bag up and probably kind of want to carry some more with me as well. And that kind of leads me into another little thing. I'm working on building her a bug out bag as well to complement mine. So we're not doubling up, we're actually adding to each other's, while still maintaining that she could go her way if something happens to me and I could go mine and we're still fine. So there's going to be some redundancy there. But like I said, I have like both rations and I can pull those out and look at them if you want, or and I've got a couple of ways to purify water.
All right, good deal. I think I told you a story about me. I had I've told this on the channel before. I had a room, a finished room. It was actually a large bedroom, and I had it stocked full, ceiling to floor, wall to wall, with more food than you'll find in some small grocery stores. And I mean, people would come in there and marvel at it, like, "Oh my gosh, how long did it take you to get all this? How did you afford all this?" And it was all awesome. And I was prepared for anything except for prepared to move. And then I moved, and that was a nightmare beyond belief. So for me, that was a big lesson for me, both for prepping situations, stockpiling food, but also for bug out bags, because you can only carry so much. And food and water are two of the heaviest things that you're going to have to carry. So a lot of people will do MREs. And MREs are great, but MREs take up a lot of space. MREs, you need to prepare them. You need to sit down, open them up, put the heat packet together, do all this and do all that. And if you're going to be, an MRE can get a person through an entire day. But if you got several people with you, and how many MREs are you planning on carrying? Your backpack will be full of nothing but MREs, even for 3 or 4 days, if you've got you and a couple other people. So I've tried to find other ways of doing it, like these right here. These are called ER bars. They're like energy bars. They're emergency ration food provisions. And these things are absolutely awesome. You can find these online. We used to sell these things like crazy in our store called the Prep Shack, because me and my buddy were preppers, and we actually had a store all about prepping, survival, camping, called the Prep Shack. And these things are affordable. They're like $9, and they've got 3,600 calories in them, and they actually come in one square thing, but they're serrated into cubes, and each cube has enough for, like, I think it's like 400 calories in each cube, and they taste like sugar cookies. But here's the thing. So it's extremely nutritious. It's had everything that you'll need for a meal, all your vitamins, minerals, stuff like that. but also has a crazy long life, shelf life, but also it's non-thirst provoking formula. So if you eat, anytime you're eating, you're going to need to consume moisture and water, and it'll make you more thirsty. These taste like sugar cookies, so they're extremely delicious, but also they're not like cardboard, like some of these emergency rations that you can buy, but also they don't make you thirsty. So even if you don't have water on you and you're hungry, you can eat this without, craving that water immediately. These things are cool. I can pack one of these in my bag and I'm good for 3 or 4 days. And if I've got a few people with me, put one of these in each one of their bags. They're small, they're very thin, compact, and boom, good to go. But MREs, there's all kinds of different things. I just like finding things like this or those rations that you're talking about, something that don't take up a lot of room, for you and one other person. And the biggest thing is know what you like and think about yourself and what you want to eat, what you like to eat. Because here's the thing that people don't think about. In those situations, it's a big mental game. And what will put people down if a bug out bag was ever necessary, one of the number one things that would destroy people is the mental part of it, because you're going to be in a negative situation, obviously. So things like food and candy or something sweet, something to just brighten the moment a little bit, give you a little bit of enjoyment, goes a long way. And that's one of the reasons why I like these, because they do taste like sugar cookies, and even the kids that I'll have with me will eat those. So now you mentioned water. Now you have a couple things for water, right?
Yes.
Are they like filters or what is it?
So what I have is I've got a Grail system, and then I've got a Sawyer squeeze with a couple of Canuck bags, and then I've got an extra bag for water as well.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Along with some purifying tabs as well, some Aqua Mira tabs.
All right, gotcha. That is awesome. Like I was saying with food, one of the number one things that people don't think about with this is weight. And the heaviest thing that people will have to carry in those situations is water and food, especially water. If you carry, imagine carrying, well, how much would an average person, an adult in that situation, need to consume in a day to be okay? I mean, at minimum, you're looking at a couple quarts, right?
Yeah, I would say 100%. That's absolute bare minimum.
Yeah, bare minimum. Now imagine how much weight that's going to be carrying around that all day. Now imagine if you got a couple people with you and you're the person that has to carry all that. How much water do you have to carry? Really quickly, water will become the biggest pain in your rear. So what I've always done, and again, this is one of those lessons I had to learn from stockpiling and then having to move homes, selling that house, I had to move. I realized really quick, you can't take all that stuff with you. It all becomes, you're just supplying somebody else. So my bug out bag has these right here in them. I don't know if you've ever heard of a life straw. Have you ever heard of a life straw?
I have, yes.
These things are absolutely awesome. Now, because people think that water will be hard to find in those situations, mud puddles,
right.
Storm drains, you'll be able to find water if you have a way to purify it through those caps that you're talking about, or those tablets that you can put in water to disinfect them, or you can boil it. And there's ways of making like a distiller, so you can distill water. But the easiest thing that I have found are these right here. I can carry one of these around. These will do 1,000 quarts of water in one of them, 1,000 quarts. And I don't care if I walk up to a mud puddle or whatever. I just put this down in there, drink out of it, and I'm good to go. My kids can have one, and these things are so lightweight. They're only a couple ounces. So they're going to get heavier and heavier as they get full of contaminants as they filter out water. But come with the lanyard, super lightweight, easy to carry, take up hardly any room at all. And I'm always going to have, now you still want to have some type of water on you, actually potable water, so you don't have to worry about if you can't find it. So you want to carry some type of water. But my number one water thing is always life straws and a backup of those tablets you're talking about, disinfectant tablets, putting in water. Those things are absolutely awesome, and they don't hardly weigh anything.
Right. Yeah. Have you seen the Grail press system, the GeoPress?
I have not. I have
Okay.
not.
I'm gonna just quickly show you. I got it on the outside of this, so I can honestly take the. I can take this pouch off and just carry it solo too. So say I'm wanting to leave my pack somewhere and go, I can just take this with me if need be and kind of strap it and make a like a harness or something. But this is the Grail GeoPress, and the way it works is it's a press filter. So what you do is the reason
Oh, I have seen those before. Yes.
okay. Yeah, so what I like about this is I can start with clean water. I can fill this up, put it in there, and I can start with, no, it's not a great, I think it's like 16.7 liters or ounces, excuse me. But yeah, you can just filter the water that way. And then I got a little system kind of set up here, and I've got a nesting. This is a Pathfinder, and it nests with these Grail GeoPress. And then I've got like the mud puddles that you were talking about.
Yeah.
This bag is a filter as well.
Filter. Yeah, filter. That's awesome. Now, how much does one of those cost, if you don't mind me asking? Because people will be curious. We'll link all the stuff down below.
Yes, I believe they run sales Black Friday. I think they're actually having a sale right now too. You can usually get the GeoPresses for about $60 to $80. I think they hover around like 90 on their site, but don't ever pay that because they always go on sale.
Gotcha.
The other thing I like with this nesting cup is the lids in the bottom. So like you were saying, if you actually wanted to boil some, you can put the water in here and boil it.
Yeah, that's a big thing, having something that you can carry that you can boil in. A lot of people will carry things like I've got one of these. These are cool to have. These are from military people have these and stuff. A lot of people that are into camping and stuff. These are collapsible canteens, and they're really, really cool. They can hold a lot of water. You can strap them to a backpack or whatever. They're watertight, and they'll hold a lot of water. But the problem is you can't boil anything in them. So if you do collect water in these, you have no way of purifying it or anything like that. So having something that you can break down and still use not only as a cup or as part of the purifying process, but also to boil out of, you're killing two birds with one stone. That's one of the things about having a bug out bag that's crucial, having things that can do multiple tasks or roles. So that's really cool. I need to check into getting one of those. I think Greg's got one of those. I need to check. That's really cool. So we got food and we got water taken out. What would you say the next most important thing for a bug out bag is?
I would probably, if you got food and water taken care of, I would probably go with fire.
Fire. All right.
Being able to light something and keep warm.
Yep. I'm with you there. All right. What do you got for firewood? Here we go.
I've got some redundancies kind of all through this. What's the rule? 1 is none and 2 is 1.
Yep.
I got some stormproof matches. I honestly got Old Reliable, just a Bic lighter with I like using these little caps on it so that the gas doesn't all escape if it accidentally gets pressed in your bag while you're moving around. I have let's see, it's in here somewhere. Big fan of Exotech too, by the way. They make great fire starting. This is their Poly Striker. And what I like about it is it's kind of small and compact. The striker nests in the actual handle of the ferrule rod, and it has a replaceable ferrule rod. So I also have some tinder tabs and stuff to go along with that, but that's pretty much my fire right there.
Yeah, if there was one thing that I would say that you want to be redundant on, it would be the stuff for fire, because fire changes everything. Without fire, you're basically exposed to all the elements. With fire, even if you're out in the snow, if you're out in the rain, if you're out in whatever, you can still survive as long as you've got a fire to keep you somewhat warm. Fire is a crucial thing. So yeah, I'm all about redundancies with fire. And I'm kind of the same thing. I'm the same way with you. I got several things here that I was going to show. These aren't all in my my bag, but I got them just because I wanted to show the different options that people can have for fire. Now, one thing that I'm all about right now, I'm on a big kick for these because I think that they're absolutely awesome. If anybody's not heard of Blackbeard Fire, these things are incredible. They don't work as good as they pitch in the. I put these things to the test. I was going to do a video on them and put them to the test because I saw them starting a fire and then putting it on water and it would still burn and stuff like that. And that's true to an extent, but that's also true with a lot of things. I can put Vaseline in a cotton ball, get it started on fire, set it on top of a cup of water, and it'll float on that water and still burn. So it's kind of smoke and mirrors, but they do work really well. They do strike really easy. And I've got some Blackbeard Fire. These things are awesome for like tender and emergency situations. I would definitely recommend somebody who is not skilled at starting fires to have some type of kindling or tinder that you can use like this to start a fire. Because if you do not know how to start a fire, you don't want to learn how to start a fire in a situation like that. Get you some stuff like this, strike it with the ferro rod, it'll strike right up, or a match or whatever. But also there are the stormproof matches, they're the waterproof matches, different things like that. And there are difference between waterproof matches like that and stormproof matches. There's a huge difference.
Yes.
Like waterproof matches will just start if they're a little wet. Stormproof matches, you can literally light these things, stick them in water for a second, pull them out, and they'll strike back up and start. I mean, these things, you can't put them out once they're started. These things are awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I love those stormproof matches. They're nice.
Do you I think like the more ways to know how to start a fire, the better. Like a 9-volt battery with some of this steel wool. I think I've got a 9-volt battery here somewhere. Let me see. I'll do this on the camera. My smoke detector will probably go off. You guys can see that right there. I don't want it to actually start, so I'm going to stop. But you guys can see what I was doing right there. I'll start right up with steel wool and a 9-volt battery. Matches as many ways. Like here, literally, I even got one of these because they're thin. Again, all these aren't going to be in my bug out bag. These are just things that you can put in your bug out bag that you might have lying around your house. A lot of people will have a 9-volt battery and a smoke detector. If you needed to leave in a bug out bag situation, you don't need that smoke detector anymore. So take the battery out of it. You probably got steel wool under the sink really quick. Boom, grab that. You're good to go. Now you've got a source for fire, even if you don't have anything else. I've got a magnifying glass right here. A great way to start a fire. I'm not going to carry all these in my bag, but I'm going to have 3 or 4 different options for starting a fire. But remember, nothing at all will beat training, getting out there, learn primitive ways of starting. Have you worked any with primitive fire starting?
I have. I'll be honest with you. I'm not the best bow drill, but I do practice it every time I go out and I'm in that situation. It's something that I'm working on. Just making one with cordage and stuff that I find. Trying to make a bow drill work. Not flint napping, but flint striking. You know,
Yep.
trying to get a spark. You know, with off of a rock. You know, maybe the back of your fixed blade knife. You'd
Yeah.
be surprised what, you know, when you're cold, uh, you become very ingenious and things don't sound ridiculous anymore.
Oh no, you'll start anything. Uh, like literally, you can take a piece of chocolate and a soda can and start a fire. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
All right, I'm gonna tell you how to really quick. This is more entertainment. This is smoke and mirrors, but it does work. It does work. It's not worth the effort. It's smoke and mirrors, but it's entertaining. You know how the bottom of a soda can is kind of like concaved? It's kind of got like a dome shape at the bottom of a soda can.
Mhm.
Take you a piece of chocolate, you rub it in that dome part, and then buff it off. Rub chocolate on there again, then buff it off. Do it again, buff it off. After 3 or 4 rubs and then buffs, the bottom of that concave dome on the bottom of a soda can, and I'm actually holding it right here. I can people on the camera right here are seeing this. That dome part right there will be shining like a mirror. Then all you got to do is aim that with the beam of sun ray and boom, right on what you want, and it'll get that thing hot just like a mirror will. And it will
Nice.
start and it'll start a fire. I've done it before. It's not worth the hassle to carry a mirror or a magnifying glass, but there's little things that you can do like that to learn. Ferro rods are awesome. Magnesium rods, so you can scrape off some magnesium and then strike it. They're just, I agree with you. The redundancies is 100% starting a fire because nothing is more crucial in a survival situation than fire. Shelter is important.
Absolutely.
It's the second most important. But fire is the one thing that you have to have. It'll change your outlook. It'll change your mood. It'll change. You can be all down and defeated. You get a fire started, and automatically you're better. And here's something I want to say about you talking about bow drills. You're not the best at it yet. There's a little bit of deceptiveness that I've noticed that goes on with Bear Grylls and Les Stroud. Now, Les Stroud is awesome, Survivor Man. He's always
Mhm.
tried to be very transparent with this stuff. He records his own stuff. He actually did live in the woods for a week at a time and recorded it all, where there was a lot of smoke and mirrors to Bear Grylls stuff. Not beating up on Bear Grylls. He's very good at what he does. His show was just a little bit of smoke and mirrors. But whenever they show you with these people using a bow drill and they start a fire really quick, they're not showing you the 3 hours that it took for them to get that wood hot enough for it to fire, finally start creating smoke and getting it charred up. The bottom of that wood really charred. They just make it look like, oh, they just took this bow drill really quick for a few seconds and boom, they had a fire. I don't care how good you are, a bow drill or any type of primitive fire can take you up to an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes before you get it to where it's going to be good enough to catch fire. And people will go for 15 minutes and then they're done. They quit and they give up. I mean,
Right.
that's just when it's starting, you know? So, I've
Right.
seen a lot of that. And I've tried to teach people in the woods before on primitive fire starting. And, and that's the number one thing that I hear all the time. Man, I didn't realize it takes this long. I'm like, yes, it is not easy. You got to get out here and work a bow drill or any type of primitive fire starting. It's going to take you a bit. So, um, but yeah, fire starting is huge. So,
Yeah, I'm with you. Also, another thing that goes along with fire starting and getting a fire started is always get, usually it's about 3 times as much as you think you're going to need, because it always fires fires consume fast, and um, you always have to go get more. So if you get
oh,
more out
you're
of
talking
that,
about wood and stuff? Yeah.
yeah, twigs and
Yep. Yeah,
fire
they do.
material. Yeah.
You know, you'd be surprised at how many people, you know, I've been at the park before. We've got a big lake here in Richmond, And they have a lot of grills, you know, at the lake and stuff, and people will go rent out the gazebos and throw parties and stuff. And I'll be walking by, and you'll see somebody trying to get a fire started, and they won't have a clue how. I've been in people's homes before. They'll move into a new house. I'm helping them move in. They got a fireplace. They want to go over and start a fire. They have no idea how. You know, they'll put all the big stuff at the bottom and just try to put a piece of paper under there and think the big log is going to just take right off. And you'd be surprised at how many people don't know how to build a sustainable fire. That you can light once, and as long as you get it flame, it's good to go from there. It will take off and it will keep going. Maybe that's something we can do a future video on.
Yeah.
So after fire starting, what would you say the next most important thing? And this not me quizzing you or anything. I'm just curious. I'm just having a conversation. What is your next most important thing for your bug out bag?
I would probably prioritize shelter, staying warm, getting out of the elements, you know, being able to, if you could sleep, you know what I mean? We all need sleep, and being able to do it when it's freezing or hot or whatever is paramount. Being able to take shelter out of the elements. So that would be my next.
All right. What do you got for shelter?
So in this bag right here, I have a couple of insulated. They're emergency insulated ponchos, kind of like the emergency blankets.
Oh yeah.
I have some of those. I actually have the emergency blankets, and then I have some emergency bivvies. So it's kind of along with there's a great product that Tough Possum makes, and it's called a survival scarf. It's basically a long tube of material that you can use as like a sleeping bag, or you could wrap up with it, or wrap a part up that say your feet are cold. You can put your feet in this, and I'm trying to go as light as I can, but still honestly be protected. So that's what I use for shelter.
All right. Yeah. The bivvies are really cool. They're super lightweight, and I also like those emergency ponchos that will double as a shelter. There was a time where I was big into tents and stuff like that, but anytime my whole thing, as I'm probably been clear on by now, with me, because I got all the boys and stuff like that, and I would always know going into that situation, I'm going to have other people with me. So I'm going to, I got to really think about weight, because ounces lead to pounds, pounds lead to pain, that old military thing. And with me, I used to worry about tents, and I've got tents in there. And if we're just going camping at the campground or something, we're all going to go in tents, obviously. But in an emergency situation, in a survival situation, I tell you, 100%. And I used to do this, and I know for a fact that this works really, really well. I'm taking a clear piece of plastic. That's all I'm taking. I'm taking a large 10 by 10 piece of plastic. I can fold it up, wrap a cord around it. I can use it for other things, collecting water. I can use it for whatever I need to. But the big thing is it's a shelter, a tarp, or a clear piece of plastic. Now, the reason I like a clear piece of plastic is I can take this right here, which is paracord, got a lot of paracord, which is a crucial thing we'll talk about in a minute. I can take paracord or any type of rope or anything like that, any type of fasteners, and I can take two spots, 2 trees or 2 whatever, and stretch that cord across, just lay a clear piece of plastic over it, put a fire next to that plastic, and it's going to radiate through that plastic. But if I need to, I also can line one side of the plastic with one of these that I also use as a shelter, which is an emergency blanket. These are great for reflecting heat. So what I'll do is I'll make like a teepee with the plastic, done this a million times, start a fire on one side of the teepee, line the back side of the tent that's away from the fire with the emergency blanket. So the reflective part is facing the inside of the tent. And what happens is that heat will radiate from that fire through the front side of that plastic, and then it will be repelled back down into the tent by that emergency blanket. I've literally had snow on the ground and had it be so warm inside of a clear piece of plastic that you can't have a coat or anything on. You will smother. It's so hot in there. And it's super easy to do. Lightweight, easy to travel, easy to move. If we are going to be in a perfect world, a perfect scenario, then I definitely want to take something like a tent and stuff that would be as comfortable as possible, because those things, comfort will matter for the mental part of this and surviving. The mental head games are a big part of it. You want to stay as positive and upbeat as possible, especially the people you have with you, like ladies or kids or whatever. But ultimately, bug out bags, when those are needed, it's about surviving. And for me, a light piece of plastic that is big enough to just make a really quick cover over our heads to keep us out of the elements. I'll sleep on the ground. Whoever's with me is sleeping on the ground. I'll get it warm from the fire and use this some emergency blankets if I absolutely have to. That's basic. But also, again, you can't outdo skills. Have you worked any on building emergency shelters, like from nature?
I have, yes, and
Okay.
I did have a like a 9, what is it, 9 by 9 tarp in here for the longest time, and I decided to go the way of the bivvies because they didn't take up as much space and they were lighter. So yes, I've put those up many times, and I and now that you say it, I might even actually go back to it. I don't know. I do like.
Well, you're right. The difference is, and here's the thing, everybody's got to think about their bug out bags on a personal level. You got to think about who you are going to be responsible for, what you need. And you just need you and your wife. That's so you all are probably going to be good with what you have. Where
Right.
me, I would have the boys with me. We would all be under that shelter, probably their mom. So I would have several people under that shelter that we would have to be huddled up and stuff. So I'm going to need something that's going to be larger, that will cover a larger area to give us more room under that shelter.
Mhm.
But if I didn't need that much, I'm going to tell you right now, there's been many times where I used to literally take off, go to the woods with what I had in my pockets, like a pocket knife, a little emergency fishing kit that I put in my back pocket, you know,
Mhm.
maybe a Snickers bar or something like that, a canteen, and go to the woods. And I'd be gone for 2 weeks. And my sister, she's always in the chat and stuff on our channel. She'll tell you, she used to tell me all the time, you need to start a YouTube channel doing this stuff right here, because what you're doing is crazy, Chris. And I'd be like, I just love doing it. And I would disappear and I would build the lean-tos and different things like that, And again, that goes back into nothing beats skills. You can stockpile, you can store, you can prepare, you can do all that you want to do. You can have bibbies, you can have plastic sheets, you can have tarps, you can have tents, you can have whatever you want. None of that will ever outdo the skills on how to build an emergency shelter if you was stuck out in the open and you had to get cover quickly. Learning how to do that, nothing defeats that, or beats that, I should say. I'm sure
Right.
you probably agree.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. All right. So we've got food, we've got water, we've got fire, we've got shelter. What's another thing, really quick? What's another go-to for you?
And I don't want to like overstate this, but electronics, as far as like flashlights, headlamps, um, a way to charge them, stuff like that. Being able to see in the dark is a huge advantage over not being able to, and stumbling and possibly hurting yourself. Um, I I look at that as part of the tools, so I'd probably lump that into next is your tools, electronics and tools, like equal
All right.
right there. Um, and I carry a bunch of tools with me when I go out, so I'm always it's that EDC prepper part of me that wants to be prepared for that kind of stuff. So
Gotcha. So like you're now you're talking about having a way of charging. Are you talking about like a solar charger?
yeah, I do carry a solar charger, and I also carry battery banks.
Gotcha. Battery banks. All right. And so you're just going to use a solar charger. I think you also mentioned that you had one of those that uses the fire that you can set a fire with and will also with
Yeah, I do have one of those, but it's not in my bug out bag.
gotcha. All right. Yeah. All right. Um, yeah, cool. What other tools do you carry as far as tools go?
Number one tool, I carry a large fixed blade knife. I've got it kind of tucked in the back. This is one I just got. This is the LT Wright knife that I got at Blade Show. And I carry it kind of tucked in the back here so I can reach it when I need to. It's a it's a great knife, and I can process wood with that. I can strike a ferro rod. I can cut things. I can do a whole bunch of stuff. Make a splint. It's a tool. Some of the other tools that I carry a SOG power pint. I carry the power pint for a couple reasons. It's redundant. It has a knife, has a file. It's got pliers, but it also has the back end of a SOG power pint. I can dig it out, but
No, that's all right.
I can dig it out. I
No, you
like
don't have to. We all know what a power pint looks like. I mean, if you
okay.
want to show it, you definitely can. You can show whatever you want. That's what this
Well,
is for.
what I like about it is you can use 1/4 inch bits in the back side of it when the handle's closed. So I
Gotcha.
carry some drill bits so I can like drill into wood if I need to, or drill into something to make a notch, make a hole. The bow drill, there you go. That's a great, I carry some drill bits in there, and then I also carry the tool bits, and I'm able to work the tools for that power pint with the 1/4 inch tools. Some other tools that I carry some of the Nipex small pliers, because with the two of them I can hold a nut and spin a nut. So that kind of covers that duty if I need to like pull a fence down or get a corner of a gate open or do something like that. I can use those tools. And then I also got some Grim workshops. They're cards. I have a sewing card, I have an escape card, and I have a tweezer card that I keep in this bug out bag.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I uh, I kind of go the opposite way. Now, as far as the light goes, I do carry. Here's my philosophy, and I go back to that weight thing. Uh, it's all about weight for me because you don't know if this is going to be a 2 day scenario or if it's going to be a 10 month or 5 year scenario. Boys are in there playing and being loud. Apologies if you guys can hear them. And the one thing and this is one of those lessons that I learned going into this along the way after doing this so long is anything that is a renewable, anything that depletes quickly and has to be renewed over and over and over again is something that I'm probably going to stay away from, like batteries. Because batteries, don't matter how many you stockpile, don't matter how many you store, they're going to run out, and eventually you're going to be right back into the same situation. So whether you are out of batteries today or you're out of batteries next week, you're eventually going to be out of batteries. So why even? Let's just go ahead and nip that in the butt. That's the way I always approached it. Now I do have a flashlight, but it's one of these emergency cranks. I can use it as a radio. I can use it as a flashlight, a beacon, stuff like that. This is like one of those things, give me something to do. It is an emergency flashlight. It's not going to be super bright with lumens or anything like that. It's an emergency situation. Also an emergency radio. But like I stay away from all of that stuff, like, because now if I needed something like Elijah has asthma or something like that, so I might need a breathing machine or something like that I just don't have a choice. I'm gonna have to have that on me. Because he uses them all the time. I can only imagine being in a situation like that. In that situation, I'm probably going to need some type of a power source with me for doing that. But other than that, I stay away from all types of electricity, energy, anything that has to be renewed, anything that I have to rely on, because eventually it's going to be depleted. Eventually it's going to run out and be for naught. So I just basically carried all that weight for a while. And it's gonna run out. So you can only, I had at one time when I say I had thousands and thousands of batteries in totes, I had thousands and thousands of batteries in totes. And by the time I got around to using them, more than 3/4 of those batteries was no good. And they were just no good. They were old. Their shelf life wasn't that great. And I was like, man, I spent a lot of money on these. I spent a lot of space on them, totes, a lot of time and energy, and I relied on them. And then whenever I went to go get them, because I always thought I had all these batteries there and I would have them when I need them. And when I did need them and I went to go get them, I spent all day trying to find good batteries in those totes, and they were all just good. I mean, a couple of them had a little bit of juice, but most of them, they were just done. Now, what I do carry is tools, and of course, a multi-tool and a knife. I'm going to have a hatchet on me, which will double as a hammer. I'm going to have a multi-tool like a Leatherman that will give me those pliers. But I'll probably have a pair of nip picks as well. In my pocket, like the eating stuff. In my bag, the tools that are most important for me. I'll show you the tools that are most important for me. I have to have cordage. I have to have cordage. That's like the number one thing for me, because you never know if you're going to need to repel something. You never know if you're going to if you're stuck somewhere and you're going to need to pull somebody out of a hole. If you're needing to build a shelter, if you need to build a like a gurney or something, or you come across a vehicle that's stuck in the middle of the road and you need to get through and you can't, and you have no rope, you have no nothing, you have no way of moving it. So cordage is a big thing for me. I found this cordage is awesome. This is called Battle cord, or more emergency cord. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's got instead of the 7 layers of, it's still paracord, but it's also got a fire starter cord in there. It's got a red marker cord so you can mark trails and stuff with it. It's got a copper line in there that you can use for like setting snares and traps. It's got some regular fishing line that you can use to sew with, or stitches, or just use for fishing. So cordage is my big thing. Actual metal line for snares, traps, booby traps. If somebody's following me, I know that's paranoia. Setting traps for food, things like that. I'll tell them to tone it down here in a second. But also, right here, you got to have some way to sharpen your axe, sharpen your knife. And I carry a field sharpener. I got a couple of these, and these will always be in my bug out bags because I need to sharpen. But yeah, ultimately, those are my tools. I want cordage. As far as the multi-tools and stuff on me, those are always going to be in my pocket. But I got to have a way to sharpen stuff. Yeah, that's like that's my main tools. Let me ask you this. Outside of tools, I mean, we've talked about some cool stuff, and I think it's clear that you're definitely prepared for anything. you and your wife are going to be good to go when, because you not only have the skills, but you have the gear that you need, and you're in a good situation. What would you say are any miscellaneous items that you would want to point out to, or say, hey, these are things that you want to consider for a bug out bag, just miscellaneous that might be overlooked or that's important to you that,
Um, one of the things that I'm always pretty keyed in on is protection from the elements. So having a good pair of leather gloves can go really far, especially when you're using tools and say you're processing wood, like you were saying, building a lean-to.
that's
You're going
good.
to use your hands. Having a good pair of leather gloves uh, that fit and that you can use that aren't worn out, I think is a one area that I would really press. I think you hit the nail on the head with the cordage. Cordage is, you can't have enough cordage. Yeah, that's my one. That's
All
my
right.
one.
Give me three. Let's go
Okay,
with three.
all right.
What would you say two other ones are?
Um, it's often overlooked because it's not glamorous, but having a compass can save you, can keep you on point. Uh, Being able to use one, that's sometimes a whole different animal right there. But generally, if you're trying to go north, you can keep the compass and keep going the same direction, or orientate yourself to go west, or however you need to. Another one that I feel is often overlooked is a little sewing kit, something to make repairs. If you're walking, say you had to pass through a cut fence, and you pull on your jacket, and you rip open your jacket. Well, having a little sewing kit, now it doesn't have to be the best sewing job ever, but being able to repair your gear as you're out there using it, I think is worth the carry.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I was actually going to say a sewing kit was one of my three. So since you already said it, I won't say the sewing kit. I will say, for me, I'm going to say three really quick ones. One is first aid,
Mm,
something small. You can, like I said, you can never plan or prepare your way through these situations and scenarios, but basic first aid should be in everybody's bug out bag. It should be in everybody's glove compartment of their vehicle, in everybody's house. You should always have basic first aid covered. A tourniquet or two, bandages, some neosporin, some alcohol swabs and wipes, some peroxide, a few antibiotics, maybe some Tylenol, just a basic first aid kit. Uh, you don't want to get carried away with it. People will be having a first aid bag as big as their bug out bag. And
right.
again, that's just too much. You got to think long term and what ounces lead to pounds, pounds lead to pain. So I would say a first aid kit is one. Number two, I'm going to say a small, like, fishing kit, like a small little. You mentioned those cards earlier, and
Hmm.
I've got a bunch of those cards. I love those things. I've actually got a small little fishing kit that's got like six or seven of those different cards. Got the blades and the tweezers and the hooks and the needles and all that different stuff. Each card's got different tools on them. You can pop them out and stuff. Those are really, really awesome. Um, those things are absolutely great. I can't remember the name of the brand. We sold so much of their stuff, it's crazy. They make those, a lot of those. But anyways, there's tons of brands out there that sell those cards. But you can make you a little in a tin can, like an Altoids can or something, some fishing line, a couple hooks, sinkers, and stuff. Make a little fishing kit. Not so much because of the food that you'll get from the fishing. That's a second part of it. That's just a payoff that will come from it. The reason why is because, and my third thing is going to play into this as well, because it's going to be a distraction. It's going to be something that you can do that if you have kids with you or somebody like that, you're going to have fun with it. And you'll be able to just take your mind off of things, because a lot of people enjoy fishing. And the last thing I'm going to say is also about taking your mind off of things. And again, apologies to anybody who's watching this. You guys already know how it is at my house. It's a madhouse. I got boys in the background. If you've watched this long into the video, you've already heard them a bunch. You probably don't care about that. You're more interested in the what we're talking about. So thank you for sticking around. The last thing I would say that's important for me that I think people should consider that nobody ever does. I never see people doing this right here. A deck of dominoes or a deck of cards, some crayons or some markers or colored pencils. Not only do you need the colored pencils or crayons or markers or regular pencils or whatever for leaving notes and messages, because in that world, you probably aren't going to be using cell phones with a lot of people anymore. You might have one if you do have a solar bank or something like that, that yours is still good, but most people won't be able to. So you'll still be relying on pencils and stuff like that to leave notes, to write notes. If you have to leave and you got to leave a message for somebody, hey, I had to move situations or move places, come here to find me. You have to have a way of leaving messages and communicating with people. But more than that, the dominoes or the playing cards or the crayons or the colored markers and stuff like that, they're going to be exactly what I said about the fish. I've got kids, so I need something that's going to take our mind off of the situation and scenario we're in, even if it's only for a few minutes, and we can play a game of Go Fish with the cards, or play a game of dominoes, or build a deck of cards house, like a house out of a deck of cards, or they can color with them, or just do something that's mentally not focusing on the scenario and situation we're in. I see everybody planning for how to survive, but nobody really planning for the part that goes along with that, and being in what you're doing while you're in that survival scenario and situation. Your mental state is going to your mental state will take you down quicker than your hunger will. Your mental state will take you down quicker than hypothermia will. If you are a defeatist, or if you're somebody that can't handle the situation, or if you're just somebody who is really overwhelmed by the situation and scenario you're in, you're done for. So having a way to get out of your own head and play a few games, hang out, pass some time, let the kids draw and color, take their mind off of it, that's a huge, huge plus. And you guys should definitely be considering that in your bug out bags. I know I've got all kinds of stuff in my bug out bags. And that's a big one for me. But I would have said the sewing kit if you not had said it.
Fair enough. Yeah, having a good distraction goes a long way.
Yeah. So a lot of great stuff. And obviously there's more stuff in your bag, more stuff in my bag, the small, miscellaneous stuff and everything.
Right.
Because this is already such a long video, and I don't think anybody's going to want to watch one that's 2 hours. Closing out, give us some thoughts, just overall basic, your mindset, if you're in that situation, just give us some thoughts about bug out bags, what it means to you, about how you're going to handle that situation. Just shoot from the hip. Just go. Whatever you want to say. Let's hear what you got. Your thoughts.
Okay. You touched on this earlier, and I've heard you say this before. It's honestly why I didn't steal your thunder at the beginning of this. Skills absolutely outweigh stuff. Knowing how to do something is way more valuable and tradable going forward than stuff. Being able to sustain that knowledge So getting out, trying, like you were saying, do a bow drill. See how long it takes you to get a fire going with that. Skills are cannot be overrated. They are absolute necessity, and they go along with your bug out bag. You need the two to get through. You like you were saying in your old house, Chris, you can stockpile it till it's, you can't walk through your house. But is that really the key right there? Or, having some stuff on hand and having the knowledge and the skills to get through it, to kind of roll with the punches. Is everybody going to be ready for every scenario? Probably not. But if you're good for on the majority and you can adapt and overcome and roll with the punches, I think that's going to be the key. Like you were saying, the mental game, playing the long game, playing the mentals, being able to see it through and to work through stuff.
That's awesome, man. That's really, really. I think people need to hear that. They really do, because a lot of people are new to this, and a lot of people, not bandwagon riders, because it's not like you're following a sports team or something like that. It's just a lot of people are new to the party. They're new. They see things that are going on. They just never realized before, but now they do, and they want to do something about it, but they have no clue where to start. They have no idea what they're doing, and they need to hear exactly what you just said. I will, I'll add on to that with this. Like you said, skills is the number one thing. You gotta practice. You got to do all this stuff. But my thing is going to be more from the philosophy of all of this, the bug out bags and everything else. I'm going to tell you guys flat out. I see prepping channels all the time. I still see them. I still watch sometimes. And one thing that drives me crazy now that I'm not in it anymore is there's a constant sense of doom and gloom. There's a constant sense of something's on the horizon. It's going to happen. We got to be prepared. We got to do this. For 20 to 30 years, that was my life. Something's going to happen one day. We've got to be prepared. And it consumed me. And guess what? Nothing ever happened. Through all that, I lowered my quality of life. I took a lot of fun and enjoyment that I could have had in life because I was too focused and concerned about something that was going to happen that never even actually happened. And I see that with a lot of these channels now. They're talking about something that's going to happen, and the Iran situation or COVID situation, or this is it and this is that and everything else. And I'm just like, as soon as this passes, they'll move on to the next thing and start talking about this is the big thing. And it's just a constant state of fear. Bug out bags are something that you do to be prepared, and being prepared is good. Everybody should be prepared. Look inside your cabinet right now. Look at your house. Most homes can't live. If the truck stopped running today, most homes could not survive for 2 weeks. Most homes couldn't survive for 7 to 10 days with what they have right now in the fridge and in the cabinets. Most homes couldn't. If the truck stopped today, in 7 to 10 days, they're done. They're out on the streets looking for food. So it is good to always, in case there is a power outage or a natural disaster or COVID, something like that, to be prepared. Bug out bags, it's good to be prepared for something. But don't let it consume you. Don't be focused on something terrible is going to happen and we just got to get ready now. It ain't going to improve your quality of life one bit, not one bit. If it is going to come, there's nothing you stressing about is going to do anything, make it any better or worse. You stressing about it ain't going to change the situation one bit. So enjoy life. Prepare, learn some skills. It's fun to learn skills. It's fun to have a bug out bag. It's fun to include the family in it. It's something you can all do together. Keep it lighthearted. Keep it as a learning experience. But the moment it becomes more than that, a game of survival. Like we have to do this because we don't want to be unprepared. We're all going to die. that's when it goes to another level, and it's not mentally healthy. It's not good. And in 2 years, in 10 years, in 15 years, you're going to look back and say, you know what? I did all that and nothing even happened. We're still here. God willing, we are still here 15, 20, 30 years from now. But if we're not in 2 years, you'll be thankful and glad you listened to Jake and you got a bug out bag. But just don't let it consume you and turn it into something it's not supposed to be or shouldn't be. That's what I would say in my takeaway from it. That's probably long-winded, but I had to learn that lesson the hard way.
Oh no, it's spot on though.
Yeah. It's all about quality of life. It's all about being prepared, but not being paranoid.
Right.
So man, this is fun. We should do some more like this. We should do some I don't know if you know how to build solar ovens.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of those skills that I think people would enjoy seeing. Solar ovens, actually starting fires, the best way to do that. Operating tourniquets, building shelters. There's so many different things that we can do. And even though we are on a situation like this where we're doing it separately, it even adds a little bit of I think it makes it even better because they can see two different perspectives and scenarios. Because my scenario won't work for everybody. Yours will work for some people, and mine will work for some people. Right. So having two different philosophies and approaches is a great way to do this.
Yeah. So, sounds like a plan.
All right. Closing thoughts, man. Hit us with them. We're bring it home.
Don't go crazy with your bug out bag. Keep it under control. You don't have to buy the most expensive of everything. Skills are way more important than gear. Chris addressed this. Mentals, keeping your head in the game is super important. And, if you don't know something, don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to learn. Be a little vulnerable and try and get the skills and acquire the skills that you need to get to where you're going or where you see in your mind's eye that you want to be.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Same thing. I'm taking what he said. My kids in a minute are going to wish that they had been stockpiling and preparing. Charmin for their butts, man. I'm gonna go in there and kick them in a minute. They've been so loud. No, I'm just playing. Kids will be kids. They're having a good time. Guys, thank you all for hanging out with us. If you watched the entire thing, thank you. We've been wanting to do this for a while. You'll probably see more from us together. He's gonna upload this onto his channel. You'll see it on my channel, and you'll see it on the 3 Mile Prepper channel. Apologies for the technical issues with the train in the background, kids in the background. But this is the learning experience, and we'll go from here. We'll get better. Hopefully you guys learned some stuff. Let us know in the comment section down below what's in your bug out bag, what we missed, what we did right, what we did wrong, what you would change, what you would add, your philosophies, any learning lessons. Remember, people can learn from comments as well as they can from the video. I've learned a lot from the comment section on videos before, so leave your comments down below and let people know about your experience, about your bug out bag, and about your philosophy on this whole thing. And guys, appreciate you all. I'm Chris. This is the Jake. Subscribe to this channel. Links down in the description below. And I wish you all sharp knives, happy lives, and hopefully long lives without ever needing a daggone bug out bag. But we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you for watching to the end of the video. I definitely appreciate your time, and I really hope that you like what you saw. And if you did, do you mind doing me a favor and clicking on that subscribe button? We have a great community, and it's growing every single day, and we would love to have you a part of it. And while you're at it, go ahead and click on that bell. That way you're notified anytime I upload future videos. Remember, your time is valuable. It's the one thing you're never getting back. You can't save it up. You can't store it. just can't save it for a rainy day. So the fact that you chose to spend it with me, I appreciate that greatly. And if you want to see more videos from me, then click on one of these 2 videos right here. I'll see you in the next video.